Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you see what you like, please hit subscribe and like, and I can continue to bring you more great content. This is going to be the first of hopefully one of many videos about watch collecting. The reason I chose watch collecting is a few years ago I started collecting watches myself, and I called myself a collector. I was the guy that just went out and bought a bunch of watches, went on eBay, quartz watches, cheap stuff, 30, 40, 50, $100. I went out and I bought myself like a $300 Bulova moon watch. I really liked it. And that's when I got sucked in. The dial on that watch just brought me into watch collecting, and so I started learning a little bit more about watches, and then I started buying a lot of Seikos, got into the automatics, and developed a passion for Speedmasters. The first Speedmaster I bought was like a 1980s, like one of the first Speedmaster reduced. I sold it shortly after. I didn't make any money on it. That's something else that I had done. I was just buying watches just because I liked them, and I was reselling them. And some watches I did really well on. My second Speedmaster was a Speedmaster Mark III. Beautiful watch. I had the silver dial one. Love the movement on there. Great, all original vintage watch. And then I really started getting into like the vintage stuff. I really like the Flightmaster watch, which I eventually got, and we'll talk more about that in the future. But let's talk about curating a collection, because there was nobody around to tell me what to buy, and I feel like I waste a lot of money. So first of all, you have to buy what you like. I got some notes here. You can always resell some watches to recoup some money, but don't let anybody tell you what you like, especially not social media. I see a lot of watches get popular, the price shoots up, and I'm guilty of this. I went out, I spent a lot of money on them, and I couldn't really get my money back, although I did make trades with some of these watches. Where and how to buy watches. Now, I really suggest, and I've heard other people talk about this too, find a good dealer that sells the type of watch that you like, whether it's new or vintage. Find somebody you're comfortable with. I bought a lot of watches off eBay. I thought I'd spend, a couple $100 and then get the watch repaired. It never really worked out like that. I always paid what I was supposed to pay for the watch, meaning if a good example of the watch was worth $500 and I got it for $200, I wound up spending $500 on that watch, and hence turning around and trying to sell it for that same $500. How to buy a watch. Do some research. eBay is a great place to research watches. Just reading the descriptions of watches on eBay, you find 10 examples of what you like, you read 10 examples that are on eBay, and then you might be able to start to find what's original about the watch, what's been replaced, if the sellers are being honest. Read, Google the watch. I mean, there's a lot of great articles from a lot of great reviewers. I personally don't like watch reviewers, and I don't want to review watches because I think there's a lot of guys out there doing that. I want to focus on the collecting part, where to buy, what you should be paying for it, because ultimately if you like the watch and you like the way it feels, then that's what you should be doing. Let's see. A lot of information I typed up. I'm not following it here. How many watches you should own? As many as you can afford. There is such thing as a one watch collection. If you do, want to buy multiple watches, and you want to own multiple $10,000 watches, well, hopefully you can afford that. You shouldn't be using credit cards or thinking, you're buying investment watches, which I'm guilty of myself. I buy all of my watches in cash with money that I save up for them. And the reason for this is I don't want to go into debt putting watches on my credit card and then having to pay them off over time, and then still having to pay interest on them. How much should you spend on a watch? Well, again, that's all relative. Again, I'll show you my my Speedmaster. That's my 1969 Speedmaster, and I paid what I was supposed to pay for this watch. Right now, with the bracelet that I have on here, the 1039, I think these watches are selling for about $7,000. Altogether, I think I have about $6,000 into this watch, between some trades, some cash. I bought the bracelet separately. This is the watch that I really, really wanted. I also own a Speedmaster Broad Arrow, or newer one, the 3594, which I've sent back to Omega for service. And then I also have a Flightmaster, which is in all original condition. And again, I'll show you that watch in the future. Anyway, this is going to be the first of many videos. I hope you like it. If there's any more content that you want to see, if there's any questions you have, please email them to me. I'm not saying that I'm expert on watches, but I am an expert on beginning collecting and making mistakes. So, like and subscribe. Thanks.